Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Polyester here, and today Dead by Daylight shared some statistics with us about the most chosen survivor and killer perks and the most chosen killers. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So here is the tweet, and it says, see what's being used before 7.3 drops. I guess next week we're going to have the mid-chapter patch come out. Here's the 10 most used perks for each role. So this encompasses the last month between August 25th and September 25th. So we have a month of data here. They did this before, like in August, they showed us the data around the middle of August, but that encompassed 3 months of data. So this is a much smaller sample size, but there hasn't been a lot of movement in this, but some things we'll talk about here. So here we go. We're going to jump into the survivor side here first. So still at number 1, we have Windows of Opportunity at 28% pick rate. Made for This at 21% pick rate. Adrenaline at 20%. Resilience at 19%. Lithe at 16%. Self-Care 15%. Deja Vu 13%. Sprint Burst 13%. Dead Hard 10%. And Kindred at 10%. So now if I bring up a side-by-side here of the previous statistics from that 3-month period from April 27th to August the 5th, we see that Made for This has just bounced right up into that number 2 slot. I remember when these statistics were released the last time, everybody was like, these stats are not accurate because everybody is using Made for This. Well, the reason why it wasn't showing up in the chart before is because it was that larger sample size from more than 3 months between April and August. And now with this smaller sample size, what people said before is being confirmed, that Made for This is just zooming right up into the meta. Lots of people are using it. Lots of people are complaining about it on the killer side, that extra 3% haste when injured is making it very difficult for killers and extending chases. And other people said it's just 3%. It isn't that big a deal. But, you know, when you see a lot of people using it, you maybe wonder, how big a deal is it really? So that one is nowhere to be seen on the last statistics, and now it's zooming up in here, and arguably this perk might be carrying the End Transmission DLC for people who want to get that perk. And one of the first things that strikes me on this list is how many of these are base perks that you get when you initially buy the game with no extra purchases necessary. Either they are general perks that are available to every survivor, or they are a teachable perk to a character that you get included with the game, such as Self-Care for Claudette, Dead Hard for David King. There is Lithe for Feng Min, but a lot of people on the console versions, the Doctor and Feng Min DLC and the Hag and Ace DLC are included in the base price. Those aren't extra DLCs to purchase for them on console. Only on Steam do we have to buy those DLCs for PC, you know? So the majority of these are all just included with base game. And you're going to see that the killer side, that's not the case. But the top 2 are Windows of Opportunity for Kate and Made for This for Gabriel. So those are paid DLC characters, right? So let's see, we'll compare again the previous data here. So let's see, Prove Thyself got bumped out, and what else? Bond got bumped out, and Spine Chill got bumped out. That was only at 6%. So the Bond at 9% and the Spine Chill at 6% were already pretty low. So you see the pick rates are tightening up here, where there are the top 10 are all 10% or more. These are larger percentages of the community are playing these perks by comparison to last time. Spine Chill probably got bumped out because of the change with the bringing in the heartbeat and the changes that they made to Spine Chill. People didn't feel like it was as valuable. Okay, let's move on to the killer statistics here. So again, same time frame, 1 month period here, and we see Jolt, Surge, whatever you like to call that perk, at 20%. Pop Goes the Weasel at 20%. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance 17%. Floppy Butcher 15%. Barbecue and Chili 12%. Lethal Pursuer 12%. Save the best for last, 11%. Nowhere to hide, 11%. Corrupt intervention, 10%, and NOED at 9%. So let's see what are there any new additions on here if we compare it to the last batch from April to August. I don't think there's anything different here. There may be a little bit of a shuffle in the order of things, but these perks all pretty well remain the same. We see Sloppy Butcher has moved down and Pop Goes the Weasel has moved up in the percentages, but everything else is pretty well the same. So yeah, and also by contrast, when you, as I said, for the Survivor perks, a lot of those are included with the base game, with the characters that you get with the base game. Not the case. Not the case for the killer ones. It seems like to be a killer, you need to put some investment in getting what are considered these meta perks. Now, the number one perk here, Jolt/Surge, that was a Demogorgon perk, so that became common pool perk, but at one time it was DLC only. Pop Goes the Weasel at number 2 here for the clown. So is the Curtain Call DLC the best DLC for your money as far as the meta? You got Windows of Opportunity with the Kate side of it for Survivor at number 1. Pop Goes the Weasel for the clown on the killer side of it, number 2. Maybe that's the best bang for your buck for buying a whole DLC for perks that have value in the game. Scourgehook Pain Resonance, that's Hellraiser, the Pinhead perk here. Barbecue and Chili connected to Bubba Leatherface DLC. Lethal Pursuer for Nemesis. Save the Best for last for Michael Myers. The Knights, Nowhere to Hide. Corrupt Intervention for the Plague. So what do we got here? We have 1, 2. Is it 2 of the 10? So it's like completely opposite. 2 of the 10 were like paid DLC perks on Survivor side, and 2 of the 10 are common pool perks for killer side. 8 of the 10 are paid DLC perks on killer side. So I don't know what that says about the game. I'll let you ruminate over that one and let me know what you think. I think you can make an argument that for killer to compete with the best perks, you have to put in a lot of time to hope that these perks come out in the shrine, or you have to buy DLC or the characters, right? So just at a glance, it would seem that to compete, it's more difficult on the killer side to get those meta perks, right? Okay, and then after that, they gave us this bonus statistic here. These killers sit at the popular table. And so these are the killer picks, most used killers in that same time frame from August 25th to September 25th. Obviously, the Xenomorph is number 1 because it was the brand new killer, so there's going to be a real shine on that one for that release. Then number 2, we have the Huntress at 6%, Wraith at 6%, the Mastermind, Albert Wesker at 5%, Ghostface 4%, Legion 4%, Michael Myers the Shape 4%, Nurse 4%, Trappy Boy, Trapper at 4%, and Blight at 4%. So, we're going to say that the Xenomorph is an aberration because he was brand new. I would expect that number's going to settle. I don't think he's going to maintain that number 1 position at 14%. With 30 some odd killers here, an average rating would be right around 3% with 32 killers in the pool. So these are all people who are overperforming on the pick rate here. I don't think it's any surprise that Albert Wesker is the highest rated of the paid characters, as again, excluding Xenomorph because he's brand new. Albert Wesker is strong and fun, and I'm not shocked that he is that high. Huntress, a lot of people say she's like kind of the face of the game, the strongest of the free base killers, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, Nurse is stronger in the right hands, but I think Huntress is probably easier to wield. Wraith, it's nice to see the Wraith that high. I'm a little surprised to see Trapper that high too. But he is getting some buffs, so we may see him maintain this position, or maybe he's just like an easy... I think Wraith and Trapper are pretty easy to understand killers for people who are casual to the game and newer to the game, that you can grasp how they work and play. Nurse not so much, even though she is stronger, right? And it's nice to see Ghostface that high too, because he got the buffs a few months ago, which made him a lot stronger and easier to use. And I don't know, are there any surprises on this list here for you? I'm a little surprised that Michael is that high, because you see a lot of people say that he is dusty and outdated and he needs a rework. So I'm a little surprised to see him this high on the list. I enjoy playing Michael, but I didn't think there were that many Michael enjoyers out there. So what do you make of this list here? Not surprised that the Blight's that high, because he's a very strong character too. And Legion is a blood points machine. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think of this list? Let me know. On all of these lists, what do you play? Does this fit in with what's happening with you as far as the picks for the killers, or for the killer perks and the survivor perks? I did read a bit through the comments here on this tweet, and one of the things that was interesting was somebody remarked, "See, everybody said that barbecue and chili was only being used for that blood point bonus and they wouldn't run it anymore afterwards. But here it is, 2 lists in a row that it maintains its spot at number 5. So that aura reading ability does come in handy, especially if you are combining it with this lethal pursuer to get that extra time to see people's auras. It isn't just a blood point perk after all. But what do you think about all this stuff? I'd love to hear what you think about these lists. Do you think that there's this discrepancy between the survivor perks being the most part common pool or base game character perks, and these mostly being DLC character perks? What do you think about that? Is that a problem for the health of the game? What do you think about the killer picks? I want to hear everything you have to say about these lists. Just lay it on me. I love to read everything that y'all say. But that's all I have for you today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the time you spend here with me on my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. And don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye. It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.